Okay, how's it going? I know I normally do some sort of intro for these, but this one's gonna be serious. If you're like, hey, I want to listen to something fun right now or something, then this may not be the one for you because I'm here. We're gonna get down to business today. Um, Not really. I'm gonna give you vague updates on what's going on with my life and then talk about a little bit of other stuff, as I'm sure you could tell from whatever the fuck I titled this. You know, my demographic is like 95% males all around, you know, my age, and mostly, I would assume dads and shit. So, something that I've been dealing with a lot as of late is trying to handle my depression and still, be a dad, because depression is something that I've dealt with my whole life, like even in junior high, I can remember just waking up in my bed and being like, fuck, I wish I didn't wake up. Like, I wish I was still asleep. And now I have to get up and go to fucking school. And, back then, I just wouldn't do that. I would just lay in bed and be like, fucking, parents, if you can pick me up, get me into the bus or car, and then carry me into school and like continue out through my whole day doing it for me, then we're good. But if you don't want to do that, then I'm not doing it. And I would just lay there. Like, I've gotten better at that, but as I was younger, I would just really sit in the depression and let it overtake me, I guess. At some point, I don't know what you're gonna hear in this audio. We got Shaggy, fucking the short-nosed dog over here, about ready to snore up a fucking. I swear, man. Sometimes he gets going and he sounds like a bad lawnmower trying to start. Just fucking like that was a terrible comparison and impression. But it's okay. You knew what I was going for. Is a loud ass snore that sounds fucking outrageous. We're on the same page here. But now I don't really have the opportunity to deal with my depression in that same way, because if I try and lay in bed, I have a bunch of little fucking me's that run around and they're like, hey, get up, dude. What's your problem? Why are you in bed? We have a bunch of energy. Why aren't you running around with us? And I'm like, well, I guess you're fucking right. I better get up. And then, I get up and I just kind of half-ass the day. I'm not really there with the kids, not really doing anything other than just, taking care of them, keeping them going, and then just kind of being there. And I just caught myself doing that a lot and was like, okay, fuck no. What are we going to do here? And me personally, like, if I get overwhelmed with the kids, because if you don't know, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, I have 3 young children who are aged 1, 2, and 3. And if they all get fucking going at the same time, it gets rowdy. So if it gets to that point and I'm like ready to just start chucking them out the fucking door, then I'm like, okay, well, let's just go play outside, or let's fucking go do something so that we can get this energy outside of the house. Because I feel like that's the biggest problem for me, is just being here and then being like, don't fuck up stuff in here. Like, this is our stuff. Don't fuck up our stuff. And then they're just, kids and want to fuck up everything. So I'm like, let's go fuck up, like, nature. Oh, goodness. And, yeah, that's been very helpful. also just like engaging with them more. If I'm just feeling bad and I notice that I'm sitting there with like my phone in my hand all day or just listening to this shit constantly, podcasts or music or anything to fucking, keep myself occupied. And if I catch myself doing that, I've been like, okay, I need to stop, disconnect for a second, and fucking focus up on what's important. And then normally at that point, I guess if you're like me, then you love your fucking kids. So when you sit there and you focus on them and you interact with them, it makes you fucking happy. Like, it's not, it's a pretty common sense thing, but I feel like sometimes I get so caught up in life and everything else that I'm like, I overlook the little things, I guess. And I mean that literally and figuratively because, they are small, but it's also just the little things doing with them, like just having my 2-year-old come up and just speak absolute fucking gibberish, but, have a straight face and be like, this is, what we're fucking doing. And then be like, Daddy, come on, and drag me off, and I'm just like, all right, let's go, And, I have the days where no matter what I try, it doesn't work. And I'm still just fucking blah. And I'm still just like, I guess this is what we're doing today. And that's fine. I don't think there's necessarily even a cure for it. Like, I'm not a person who wants to go and take some, Xanax or whatever the fuck they prescribe now for depression and anxiety and ADHD and what the fuck ever else. Like, it's just kind of numbing. And from, not from my experience, but from everyone I know growing up being on that shit, they all just tell me, you just don't feel much of anything anymore. And that's not a life either. You're supposed to have, big highs, big lows. It's supposed to be a roller coaster. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to feel good. That's the way she fucking goes, bud. Yeah, I told you this one's not going to be too fun because it's only going to get worse from here. But I do hope that, I don't know, if you're listening to this and you're also just kind of in a bad place at the moment, then it'll, if nothing else, make you feel better knowing that someone else is out there just going through the same shit too. I feel like sometimes everyone acts like they're okay. You see somebody walking that and you're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And they're like, oh, I'm good, how are you? And you say, oh, I'm good. And then you continue on with your life. And then, that's just the way people are. But, then as soon as you walk away, you're like, fuck, actually, I'm not good. My whole life's falling apart. And you just don't say anything. But I don't know, I just don't feel like that's necessary, You don't have to tell everybody everything, but it's, if somebody comes up to you and you're feeling kind of off, maybe just be like, yeah, I'm not doing great, like, it's not anything that I need help with, but it's just one of those things, and maybe in telling the person that, they'll be like, oh, shit, like, I get that, I'll treat you accordingly, however that may need to be, space, fucking, like, extra sensitivity towards the person until they fucking feel a little bit better, whatever. Doesn't that just seem like an easier way to go about it instead of just being like, I'm good, and then walking away and just being like, Yep, I'm real good. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna pause and get a drink because I did not prepare myself. But we will be right back, and you won't even notice a difference. It'll just be like I'll be sitting here talking, and then I'll just be talking again like nothing ever happened. I just I thought about something, and it's just kind of like I feel like throughout history there's been like men have to be hard, you know, in different senses of the word. It's not always been like, you know, the Western version, because, you know, ancient people were different. They had different versions of what being a man was, and other versions had other versions. And, you know, I'm getting sidetracked here, but I feel like I lost the fucking plot there, bud. I feel like I had something, and then I sat down, and as soon as my ass touched the seat, it just something connected in my brain and took the thought away, and then I went to talk about it, but it was already fucking gone. Let's just get back on to what we was going to talk about next. Oh. Ooh, yeah. So, to give context without giving too much information, I've somewhat alluded to, if you watch my YouTube videos and not just a podcast, going through some things and what those things are. And, you know, it's just some relationship difficulties, just some old, this fucking laptop is getting loud, some old shit that I didn't really deal with coming back up, and just not handling some situations the best. And one thing that was common in a lot of the things that happened was I felt some sort of grief. And so an example is like when my mom passed away, I didn't take as much time as I probably should have to feel that grief, because I was like, I got a kid on the way. I'm just going to completely ignore myself and focus on everything outside, not worry about what was inside. And here we are, you know, fucking 4 years later, and it's still, you know, it hurts just the same as it did then. I don't, you know, spontaneously cry as much unless, you know, I want to cry. You know, you got them songs, those songs you're like, I kind of want to be a little bitch right now and cry. And then you just look up a song and you're like, I'm a little bitch, and start crying. It's all good. But I didn't process it in a way that I had grief, because the situation with my mom was that of, she was on life support, and a decision had to be made as to whether or not to take her off of life support. And I was the one who, you know, said, like verbally said, do it, because just the situation. I was the one who had to step up and do it, you know? And I'd kind of ignored that. And it's pretty fucking hard, you know, doing that. it just leaves a lot of grief and a lot of sorrow isn't necessarily the right word. It's not a wrong word for like how I felt, but it's not necessarily the word that I'm looking for. Resentment, maybe. It just, a lot of feelings of just carrying the weight of that is the best way to describe it. And I don't necessarily think that grief as a whole is something that necessarily goes away, or like I don't know that there is ever a complete acceptance of the way things are. You know, I'm gonna do another episode where I talk more about this, but like a part of Taoism is like just accepting life and the flow of the universe and everything in it. And the point of it is that it's not attainable. So with it not being attainable, it's okay to have the things that you can't work through or can't get past. So it's not necessarily that you have to get past it. You just have to accept it as it is, and that it has happened, and that you're still here and have to deal with the hard part, the living, you know. I've just thought about all the relationships in my life a lot, and you evaluate if you are putting out the person that you want the people you care about to see. Like, Jesus. That's a record for burps. Hold on, I gotta kick a cat's ass. That's why you love cats, because they fuck up your furniture and then take off fucking running as fast as they can at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm recording this. Oh, I don't even know what I was saying now, man. All this shit's going in and out of my head. But it's fine. Get my fucking notes back up, and we will just continue along. I think I was wrapping up that fucking shit anyways. What I did want to end this on is I can't give too many details because it's still ongoing, but I did end up getting myself put into jail, and that's what I was talking about. What version of yourself are you putting out for other people to see? And when I went to jail, like, I was just, there up on the top bunk, just, chilling, sleeping, waiting to see if somebody could get me out or not. And a guy that was in there, like, obviously an old guy that had, well, I guess he could have been anywhere from 30 to 50, depending on how many drugs he was on. Let's just say that. Because he was on some drugs, so maybe he was 50 and he wasn't on a whole lot of drugs, just a little bit. Or maybe he was 30 and he was, on a whole lot. But I'm not sure. But I can say one thing at least, because I was just sitting there, I ate a little bit, but the food tasted like ass, and I was like, I don't want that. And he was like, are you on meth? And I was like, no, man, do I look like it? And he was like, well, you're scrawny. And I was like, I mean, I just lost some weight recently, but, I'm not too fucking small. I don't think I look like I'm on drugs. And he was like, you didn't bring any in with you? And I was like, no, man, I didn't bring any in with me. You didn't bring anything in with you? And I was like, man, why would I bring shit? Like, I wasn't planning on coming to jail. Who's like, oh shit, you know what? I might go to jail today. Let me shove these drugs really far up my asshole. Like, no, that's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that was a fun time. It is still ongoing though, and I don't want to talk about it too much. It was just, I'd say it was just wrong place, wrong time. Like, I've been trying to take better care of myself and think about my perception of myself and how I'm putting it out to people, who I'm presenting out to the world. Because for a while I was like, it doesn't fucking matter. I can go back and watch my YouTube videos. It's not like I didn't brush my hair. I would shower and then just put on whatever fucking random piece of clothes there was. Like, I didn't feel good about myself, so I wasn't trying to, do things to make myself look or feel better. And that even goes down to like fucking brushing my teeth. Like, I would just be depressed and not brush my teeth for a week, and it's fucking disgusting. But like, it is what it is, Fucking way she goes there, buddy. Just fucking ride through it. And yeah, it's just, I've been trying to take better care of myself. I've been trying to, work out. I have set up, if you're like me and you're a lazy piece of shit, no. But if you're somebody who's never really fucking worked out and like you just want to get going, because I never really did. Like, I would always be out and exercising and running, but I was never like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then that and then like have an exercise plan. Then just do it. Like, mine's not anything crazy. I do 50 push-ups in a day. That's, I can do 10 at the beginning of the day and then sprinkle in 10 at a time. Anybody can do 10 push-ups and then wait 2 hours. 50 in a day, and then I try for like 30 pull-ups in a day. But the max I've gotten in a row is 5 pull-ups right now. And, those aren't the numbers I want to be at, It's like, I would like 10. I feel like 10 is just a nice, it's double digits. If I can just pop out 10, that would be good. But we're not there yet. We're working up to it. That's the point. I got a fucking jump rope, and I've just been fucking jumping that bitch. Just been sitting there fucking bam, 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 bam. And then my fucking little dog, man, my little dumbass dog, I was sitting there going in the living room, fucking, and then, and fucking smacked him upside the head, and I was like, oh shit, man. Because the kids, they're big enough to where I can see, like, they'll be like, Daddy, I'm go away. Like, if I hit them, that would be catastrophic. Be fucking meltdown city. Fucking hit a kid with a fucking whipping fucking jump rope. No, thank you. But, yeah, it's been helping me a lot with my anxiety, because I've been a fucking ball of just anxious energy. And when I do get to that point to where I'm just like fucking, I can't sit down, I'm just fucking walking around, I'm ready to pull my hair out, just my mind is on overload, then I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing then? And that's when I'll just sit there and be like, okay, 10 push-ups, fucking, and then sit-ups, like, I'll just do as many as I can. And then when I'm not able to sit up, then that's enough, like, then I just lay there for a minute and chill out. And I don't know, to somebody it seems like it's not a lot, and to some people it might seem like a lot, but it's where I'm at right now, and we're all good with it. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to end the episode, though. It's a little bit longer than what I've been doing lately. If you like the podcast, make sure to leave a like. I'm going to start on this one. I'm going to start putting a song, at least one song at the end, that I've recently listened to and liked, and just completely ruin my chances of monetization. So go ahead. I guess I'm not going to pick the song yet, but hopefully you enjoy.